Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. Today is with me and Navasit, and we have a question about help. Okay, Navasit, go ahead.
Okay, my question is about asking for help. So if one thinks that he or she is alone in this world and does not want to ask for help nor accept help if offered, what can we do?
You know, generally everybody has a free will. And this is the first law that comes up with everything. So if somebody is not asking for help and not accepting help, even if you or anybody offers, you have to let it go.
Oh,
because that person has the free will. And you know, you don't know what karma or whatever is behind that, because generally I think it's very good to understand that we have not walked in another person's shoe.
but
yeah,
just 1 minute, because sometimes Thai culture, they have a เกรงใจ
yes,
and they didn't talk to me directly that what they need.
yes,
but I can guess that they need the help, so I
Yeah.
offer the help for them.
But-
Is that okay?
well, you can always offer. You always
okay.
can offer help, but when somebody does not accept it, there is nothing you can do to make somebody accept help.
Okay.
Now, just generally, let's look at the general topic of help. Like when you're a kid, you go to school, you need a lot of help because many things you don't know yet. So who do you ask? You ask the teacher. And generally also I see here that when I work with Thai people, that they don't ask questions. Now see that to ask help for people, not just Thai people, I mean, that's a general topic in Asia, but also in other countries, it actually needs some courage to ask for help. Because if you have asked for help, you admit that there is something you don't know. And this is a topic of pride. A lot of people don't want to ask for help because they are pride and they don't want anybody to know that there is something they don't know.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know exactly, but in Thai culture, I have experienced that many times. And then this is acting out into something bad, because then people just do something and they might hurt themselves, or they might do it wrong, or they might even get in trouble or in whatever difficult circumstances. So it is actually important to ask for help, to ask questions if you don't know further. So it is a strength and courage to ask for help, but only if, like, there are other people on the other hand that ask for help all the time. They don't do things by themselves. They always ask for help to have others do it. So that's also a question of balance.
So that's come up that when should we ask for help? Which is the
I would say generally, if you really don't know further anymore yourself. But it's easy kind of to ask for help when it's about something like a technical problem or whatever is a material problem. This is not much of a question. But when it comes to like affairs of the heart, for example, or relationships, or like even like I see that sometimes as a teacher, when people ask questions I cannot answer, I have to be very clear and say, I'm sorry, I don't know. So this is when you can ask always. When you feel you want to ask, you can.
But before asking, I should find some information first. I mean, should try by myself first, and then if I cannot find the solution or find any information, I will ask them, right?
I think this is the best solution. Look, I mean, you're an individual, And again, what we said before, you have never walked in somebody else's shoes. So you cannot be sure that that other person really understands your question and gives you a right answer. So that is easy when it comes to physical things, you know, like a technical problem, whatever. But as soon as it is like emotions involved, something like this, it becomes much more difficult. And even if you, I mean, there's situations, for example, like somebody is sick and they have a certain symptom, and then they start to ask around, what can I do? So like, for example, you have a headache, like, for example, and you start to ask your friends all over the place, oh, I have such a headache, what would you do? And then you have maybe 10 friends and they give you 10 different answers. So you're even more confused than you were before. So because, like, for example, a headache can come from the stomach, it can come from a muscle tension, from many different things, or, you know, the ties are kitmaakt, you think you have a headache. So there are many, many ways. So it is sometimes very tricky to ask for help or to ask questions. So very often, actually, you know, we say if you ask a question, you have the answer inside, otherwise you would not have the question. You would not be able to ask a question if the answer is not somewhere within you. So again, this is very, very clear. So before you ask a question, like let's use that sample of headache. Like, you think about it, what could it be? For example, I was really sleeping very bad last night and I had this tension here, so the headache might from there. Or I've been very much stressed and run around and I didn't drink any water or anything. So go first and drink water. My experience is that very often when I go and drink water, the headache is going. Or I have a cup of coffee. Coffee helps to open up the vessels. Like, they are very often, before you ask for help, they're very often practical things that you can do yourself. And when you ask questions or when you ask for help, then think about also, who do you want to ask? Like, don't just send out the message to your network and say, I have a headache, what should I do? Because this is gonna be a mess. So maybe you have one friend who's a nurse, or you have a friend who is whatever, and said, you have this headache and I really cannot figure out what it is. What would you recommend? So to get really the help that you need is to be specific.
It's true. So go to the expert one that I trust. And
you know, I mean, we have the internet, we can really find out things much easier than like 20, 30, 40 years ago. But again, I recommend you not to use Google, you know, again, how selective that is, because you won't maybe not find the answers that you want, because for me, for example, go for natural medicine and natural solutions, I hardly find anything there, because this is put on the page 100 plus. You know, kind of. Sometimes you see the hundreds of pages and they put them so far back that you can never reach them if you use that server. So it really is recommended to use alternative servers.
Which one do you recommend?
Well, the one I use in the moment is Brave, like be brave, like brave. And, it has a lion head on top, and I like that one. And I used to have Fox, the Mozilla Fox. So I still have that one for some official stuff I browse, but I don't trust that one really. And DuckDuckGo was, I used it at time, but I don't have a very good feeling with it anymore. So be careful. Okay, so the other question that you have that came up here was to be weak, right? To ask.
But does it mean that we are weak when we ask for help?
You see, that is so much connected with you. I mean, some people, again, they ask questions all the time and they don't make any decisions themselves. This is weak. But if you are usually the person who make the decisions yourself, you are responsible for your life, and you ask for help when, like, again, when you really don't know something. Then, as I said, it needs sometimes really courage to ask questions.
Yeah, a lot. Because I think because maybe sometimes we have some ego that
We do.
we don't know what we don't want to show that we don't know.
Yeah. I think
So,
this is one of the main problems.
Yeah. So,
but again, be very careful to choose whom you ask the question.
Okay, I see. And in terms of the helper, so actually, for example, myself, I don't want to involve or intervene their karma, and so, but I want to help them. So, how can I balance this?
Yes. Okay. Now, I think when we talk about karma, first of all, a lot of people are here in the moment to balance their karma, especially in this shifting time, so that they can move on into the higher timeline, right? So very often we cannot help them because they need to resolve their problems by themselves, and we cannot, because look, I can cook for you, but I cannot eat for you, right?
Yeah.
So certain topics in life you have to do yourself. And I think it's the easiest if you really go to meditate and contemplate things, because my experience is when I ask to be guided from my higher self, that the answers are coming to me. And then I'm also clear about what kind of help I need. Very often when things are coming up, especially karmic issues, that we don't know really clearly, why is this happening to me? Or why do I have this symptom in the moment? And then you ask your, what I call my upstairs team, tell me what I need to know about, why do I have this pain in the moment? What is going on? And then maybe, very silly things happen sometimes. I just ask, for example, why do I have this pain? And I walk in the kitchen, and then somehow the jar of water is displaced on a different place. Oh, of course, I need to drink more water. It's just very simple, because I tend not to drink enough water, especially when it's hot here. And or for example, that somebody call me and they ask actually the question that I need an answer to,
Wow.
So or I get the message on my Telegram channel or whatever. It always comes in one or another way, that either the person contacts me that I need to ask because this person has the answer, or that I stumble more or less over it. Or I see even at the fact that I see an ad popping up that shows me exactly what I was asking for.
Oh, wow.
The beauty is that when you really work with your upstairs teams, with the higher self, with the divine self, that practically in any situation in life, something pops up, comes in that you need to know right now in that moment.
I see.
And this also is connected with other people. Like when you want to help other people, you have exactly that feeling, you should not. Or for example, as you said, you know what the person needs. You can ask, or you can say, for example, you look like you have questions today. Can I help you? And then you see, be kind of neutral. Don't push somebody, but very often this is like breaking the dam, and people who were afraid to talk before, if you ask, they just burst out, and then they have the courage to ask.
Yeah, and I also know myself the limit of help that I can help them
Yes.
as well. Yeah, because I always ask my divine self that what the limit that I can help them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think one of the first thing is like what we see so often is, especially parents or whatever, they have the feeling they know better. They know better everything. I just do that to help you. I just do that because it's good for you. But what they do, they suppress the freedom of their children, for example. And I see that very often in Asian families, that even when you've grown up, like there is a family clan, you know, and the mother is very often the mother. That still, like, for example, the daughter is already in her 30s or whatever, but the mother just still talks about what she has to do. I have experienced a case from one lady long time ago that she was actually abroad for many years and came home, and she really was like integrated in the family. When she came, she was quite a free spirit, you know, and now she is like a crumbled flower because she went back into the family, and she in a way, she has regressed, and I feel the underlying anger. There is anger that she did not have before. So this is the kind of what they said, that I just want to help you, I just want to be that nothing bad happened to you, blah blah blah, but it's not really help, and we have to be very careful not to use control in any way, and to even think about that you have a right to tell somebody else what he has to do.
Okay, but for me, I always when I see someone that look pity, so I feel like empathy, and really want to help that person.
Yeah.
And sometimes is I go with my feeling, so it means that over than my capability to help them. You know what I mean? But so I feel like I really want to help him, but I can do just only few things to help him.
Yeah.
So
that's
so I just
you know.
So just help that what I can do, right?
You know, in the moment, I see a lot of people who I know they need help, but I cannot help them. And this also has something to do with the consciousness level. This is like compare that like with school, somebody in the first grade, second grade, whatever. So this is very difficult. Like the first graders are a client together, the second graders, and usually they are sticking together. And this has a reason, because they understand each other, they have the same problems, they need the same help. But when you try to interfere, like from fifth grade or whatever, then you are the older one, the one who knows better, and they hate you for it.
Oh, I see. I see.
And then this is not the solution either, because I mean, okay, I have that experience many times that people, they ask me for advice or something, and I know exactly that what I gotta tell them they won't like. And I tell them, I said, look, this is no use that I try to help you, because you won't like what I say. Oh, say it anyway. Just look somewhere else. Say it anyway. Say it. You have no courage to tell me. Whatever. So sometimes I was stupid enough to give in to the challenge and told them, and then they left very angry. You're such an asshole, you shouldn't say that, and stuff like that. You know? Because it's difficult, you know, and for
Mhm.
me anyway, because I'm quite direct, I'm not very diplomatic. I never was. It's not
Uh-huh.
my skill.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people, they really don't want that. They don't want the help. Or you saw that like also with some people I work together, we come to a certain point and then they suddenly they block everything because it's too much.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's too
Wait,
much because they are not yet at the time or at the junction yet to completely free themselves from what holds them back and all the difficulties from the mundane life. And
yeah.
they think they can go back to have a simple life, but it doesn't work at the end. So it
Mm.
is that moment when you need to jump,
Mhm.
and many don't have that courage really to jump and go forward.
Yeah, I got someone experience that I talk to my friend in the spiritual way, but they don't they block it. They
Yeah,
don't accept it. Uh-huh.
yeah.
So
Even
sometimes, yeah,
even
sometimes I
spiritual to a
uh-huh.
certain degree, you
Uh-huh.
know, until here. Here is the blockage, but not further.
Okay. Even I say something that just uh let something go, let some urban that make you urban burden go, but they always say that I didn't take their shoes, so I didn't know well what's going on with them. So sometimes they cannot, they understand by thought that we should let go, but they cannot let go by heart, right?
It's habit. It's habit and program. You know, to carry your burden is said to be a good thing.
Oh.
From most societies, religion, dogma, it is like you carry a burden and then it becomes a burden, like you have family, you have a burden here, a burden there. Instead that it's
Mhm.
joy and fun and happiness, they make it a burden. But this is because we don't live in an enlightened society. And I was
Mm.
actually thinking about that because that topic recently come up a lot about what is an enlightened society? How do we live in an enlightened society? And I would like actually to make that our next call, because once you understand what is behind, then you understand the difference between the burden and the joy. And to responsibility does not mean a backpack, but for most people
Mm.
it is. So we can talk about that next time.
About the responsibility.
Know about what is an enlightened society. How do we live in an enlightened society?
Okay. Wow.
Then we can go from here, because I think
Uh-huh.
we just stop here now with the help. Or do you have any other
Uh,
question?
just one more that about the because I forgot that in what circumstance should we accept the offer for help? Because for
Yeah.
me, for me, when I accept the help, I think that it's like a give and take. I think that in the future I have to
To
help.
repay.
Yeah, do repay. So how can I balance it?
Well, see, that's again going in the same category of an unenlightened society and an enlightened society. That
Ah,
of that kind of always asking for something to pay back, you know.
uh-huh.
So you might have seen the movie Pay It Forward or heard about that. This is a very nice story, actually. Pay it forward. And this is also coming into this topic because, yes, very often when we ask for help and somebody helps, this person in return asks for another favor.
Uh,
So again, do you trust the person that person is asking? I mean, if you have a good friendship or a good
mm,
relationship with somebody, you can help each other for favors or for help,
yeah.
whatever it is. And that
Uh-huh.
you just do it because
Uh-huh.
that's what you do.
Uh-huh.
But there are sometimes situations that you have to ask somebody that you don't know so well or don't like so much. And then it can be a return that you don't want. But this is something you cannot control here in this society. So you have to take the risk either. Can I do it myself without asking for help? Or do I need to, but then maybe be clear and just offer something that you give in return, that this other person cannot afterwards take advantage of you and say, yeah, but I did that for you, now you have to do that for me. That it's something you really don't want to do.
Okay.
I think this is more like for material things, not so much when it comes to friendship or relationships. But it can be even in this field. So we have to see that generally our society is still very not enlightened, and the way that we live is definitely not. So we have to make that step, and I think that's good. We look into this topic in our next video.
Yeah, sure. Wow.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a good topic. So anyway, did I answer?
Yeah. You cover all my questions, right?
Okay.
Very
So
good.
I wish you still a nice time there in Khao Lak. Khao Yai, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, and like back to the nature.
Yeah. Good.
So I need some nature things. At night I can hear the sound of the birds and the insect something.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And don't forget to walk barefoot.
Oh yeah. Sure. Because I live in the tent, you can see.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking it looks like tent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Okay. Take care. And thank you for the questions. And all those who watch us, thank you for watching. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And okay, next weekend, we're going to talk about how we live and what it is to live in an enlightened society. And this will be very, very awesome and amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.